All right, welcome in today. I want to share a video today called Welcome to the Arena. All right, and before we do that, I want you to like and subscribe to this video. And then also want you to know that coming up, we're going to be starting a newsletter. So as I have more details about that, we'll be sharing that with you here, but I'm very excited about it. But welcome to the arena. There's a couple ideas I want to capture with this. And so welcome to the arena is this idea. All right, I want you to imagine you're walking into the giant arena, and this arena is your life. Everything that has happened to you, everything that is happening now, currently in your life. And then I want you to also think about everything that will happen to you encircling you. And all these events are, in a sense, watching you. Now, I think the first thing you want to do is to understand you have one shot at this. You have one life. So welcome to your life, all right? You can engage your life, or you can just kind of live and exist and let life pass you by. And so I think we want to engage our life. That doesn't mean we're going to be perfect all the time, but we want to be actively participating in creating and thinking about and growing into the people, becoming the type of person we want to be in order to have the things out of life that will give us true wealth, that will give us true enjoyment and prosperity. And we'll talk about maybe what those things are in other videos, but for today, you got to take responsibility for that journey. You got to take responsibility for yourself. And so with that, as you walk into that arena that is your life, I think the first job every human being as we get upon this earth is to view yourself as someone worth taking care of. Now that's from 12 Rules of Life by Jordan Peterson. But we have to take care of ourselves. We have to value the creation that God made. God gave you this life. And in fact, it's his life in your bones. It's his breath in your lungs. And so in some ways, it's an act of humility to value yourself. And so I know sometimes people see that backwards, that, oh, they try to, self-defeat themselves or really put themselves down as a way to be humble. But instead, we have to see that you are divinely and perfectly created. And so your job is to value yourself highly and to become like Christ in your journey. And so I think that's the first thing that we're called to do is to value and to take care of ourselves and to feel that God values us very highly. He created us. And so understanding that you're somebody worth taking care of is very important. Now, some people have a hard time because of things that have happened to them. Life's full of trauma. We all experience it. And because of that, sometimes people have a very hard time valuing themselves and seeing themselves as something of value. And so sometimes to get to that place, we have to treat ourselves as somebody else. And so you may need to treat yourself as somebody else that you love, a friend, a sibling, a family member that you deeply care for. You may need to start seeing yourself in a third person light that way and taking care of yourself as if you were somebody that you deeply love. All right. And so I think that's the first part as we take responsibility for ourselves, that we take care of ourselves, that we see ourselves as somebody that needs to be taken very well care of. And then in that, you want to be thinking always about your future self. And what you do today is paving the road of what you're going to be. And then what you're going to be is going to give you what you are in the future. And so that's the first step in this. The second one is we take responsibility for ourselves. We take responsibility for our actions. And so I think that comes with a lot of things. First is we never blame anything on anybody else or circumstances. So we're never a victim. I think all great success philosophies that I've studied have that in common, that there is no victim mentality in that. So you don't blame circumstance, you don't blame people, but instead you take responsibility for whatever you get. Sure, some people have a lot more opportunity than others. That's right. But we all have been given a divine soul and the power of God's Holy Spirit. And so that's not a limitless power, and we all have been given that. And so we want to take responsibility for everything that we have right now. A great quote by Dallas Willard is, "The systems of your life are designed perfectly to give you the results you currently have." And man, I know once I heard that quote, it was very convicting for me. All right. And so as we also take responsibility for ourselves, we want to trust ourselves. We want to be aware of what we're getting and have that reconnection to our deeper intelligence, our deeper intuition. And so as you take responsibility, you can learn to trust your your intuition is probably smarter than your brain. And so that's something that you can develop through meditation and some awareness practices and through prayer. You can learn to get that deep gut feeling that's going to lead and guide you in the ways that you need to be going and to do the things God created you to do. And then the final step in that is I want to share the last two lines from the poem Invictus. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. And so, I've wrestled with this growing up as a Christian my whole life. Is that actually a scriptural or idea or not? And so I know that it can rub against some of our ideas. However, I think it's a powerful reminder if we put it in the correct light of all being is God's being. And so that we are exercising the gift of God in our life. And so it's not something for us to hoard. So I am not the captain of my fate for my own end and own glory, but instead that I've been given a God-given gift, God-given destiny, God-given purpose. And as I take responsibility for that, as I show up as a person of sacrifice and responsibility in my life, in my relationships, in my community, everything I'm called to do, that's where life will unfold for me. And that's where I will find meaning, and that's where I'll find the meaning and purpose and the fulfillment of life is in those places. And so I think that's a good thing for us to remind ourselves of is that nobody's going to come and save you, right? And that's Jocko Willink. Nobody's going to come and save you. Nobody's going to do the work for you. Nobody's going to do the pull-ups for you, all right? I'm not going to come to your house and as you're eating a donut, I'm not going to knock it out of your hands. I'm not going to cook you every steak that you ever eat. And so you got to take responsibility for that. And you got to have the freedom to adjust. Again, I'm a guide as a coach. I'm not a tyrant. And so I'm just here to help you along your journey of finding what you want. And so if it's a health and fitness goal, man, I always tell people in diet and nutrition to have awareness and you can eat whatever you eat. As a carnivore, I tell myself all the time, hey, if I want to go eat an apple today, I can do it because I'm a free human being. I just choose not to because I'm choosing the very best for myself. And so that's kind of that last connection point that we'll talk about today is we take responsibility for our life. We don't want to do that in a way to just follow our own whims and wishes, but instead we want to take responsibility though, and we want to chase the highest good with our life. If we'll chase the highest possible good with our life as we take responsibility for ourselves and in our being, I think that's going to lead us in the highest path. And I think it's going to lead us in paths of love and right action. And we're going to see that as we take care of others, as we present ourselves fully in our full capabilities of who we can be and who we can become. And we dedicate ourselves to right action, to being people of justice and people of love. That we'll be proud of who we become. And so the trials of life and taking responsibility to overcome them, to become the best version of ourselves in and through them is an important part of the journey. And so I think this is where the journey starts is just to, hey, circle yourself, walk into the arena, engage your life, take responsibility, don't blame, don't make excuses, and let and see what the power of God can do in and through your life. And that's the beginning of the journey. I hope you found this to be encouraging to you. I don't ever mean any judgment, but instead just I think we all are, it's all flawed human beings, very hard to be human, and we need to aim at God. We need to aim at the highest possible good in everything we do. And so hopefully that encouraged you on your journey today, and God bless you.